Ah, there you are. I hope you weren't planning on venturing off without me, my friend. I had hoped to tour Eorzea with you. Don't forget, for me it has been nigh on 2 centuries since I was last in this land. Well, looks can be deceiving, after all. Though I once again inhabit the body of my younger self, I am an old man, with many memories and much accumulated wisdom. I may no longer be the leader of a nation, but it is doubtless that my years of experience will aid you. Oh gods, believe me, it was never my idea to be afforded the grandiose title of Crystal Exarch. But the people looked to that glittering beacon, and by extension me, as a symbol of hope in their light-addled world, and I could not very well turn them away. They endured trial after trial and built the Crystarium from nothing. I had never known a people to be so industrious and hopeful in a time where hope was all but dead and their world all but consumed. But of course, I only paved the way for the arrival of their true hero, my friend. However many more years I am granted on this earth, I will never forget the moment you slew that first Light Warden. I watched as you channeled the ether from that accursed being's course and tore the primal light engulfing Lakeland asunder, returning night to a people that had not seen it in over 100 years. How many years had I waited for that moment? I could scarcely think of a more complete victory than what we achieved in the first. The last of the Unsundered destroyed. Night returned to the first, and all by the hand of my warrior of light and darkness both. Speaking of, which title do you prefer now? The vaunted warrior of light of the source, or the mythical warrior of darkness from the first? I suppose after your final confrontation with Elidibus, a warrior of light might have taken on an entirely new meaning to you. It is troubling, to say the least. How many more poor souls like Ardbert were led on as warriors of light throughout our history? Just how many were manipulated by the Paragons into thinking they were fighting for a true and just cause, when in the end, all served to play into their master plan of the rejoining. But all that is behind us, my friend. We've won. All that remains is to look forward to a new dawn. Do you often gaze upon it? The Crystal Tower, I mean. Gods, it's been so long since I saw it grace the skyline of Mordona. It's kind of strange, honestly. I spent years asleep in the tower. And when we sent it to the first, with me inside, I spent even longer as its steward. I even joined myself to it. To be free of it now is a victory, of course, but part of me will miss it. But seeing it fulfill its original purpose, a beacon of hope for mankind, now both here and in the first, brings me only the greatest joy, knowing that the final wish of the ancients will be fulfilled. And speaking of the ancients, I often find my mind wandering back to Emet-Selch and Elidibus, those poor, tortured souls, fighting for eternity to reclaim that which they lost, though it be nothing more than a hollow dream. In the beginning, we thought them nothing more than incarnations of evil, sowing the seeds of chaos throughout history to some unknowable end. when in reality, they were nothing more than the final remnants of a doomed people who would stop at nothing to bring back their home, their people, their friends. Not entirely unlike us. And though our goals proved incompatible and violence unavoidable, at the very least we came to understand our enemy. And though I cannot speak for you, I can only say that they have my deepest sympathies. To lose everything and be cursed to wander the shattered remnants of your home for the rest of time, I almost think it a mercy that you put them down. But as long as we remember them, their hopes, their dreams, their legacy will never truly die. Forgive me, I've found myself rambling again. How are you holding up, my friend? I know you've never exactly been one to rest or sit still, but I hope you've taken at least a moment to catch your breath since we arrived back in the source. Ready as ever, eh? That sounds like the warrior of light I knew as a boy. So what's the plan? Are you up for one more adventure? Together this time? You know, ever since I was a boy, and we were exploring the myriad depths of the Crystal Tower, I had yearned to join you at the front, to fight side by side with my inspiration. Though I was not able to then, time has afforded me a second chance, and this time I would very much like to join you. However, I do have one important thing I wish to say to you. Pray allow me to play the part of the old wise man once more. Yours is a long road, my friend, and it stretches on to places beyond imagining. With your every step, these grand adventures shall grow more distant and faint. And there may come a day where you forget the faces and voices of those you have met along the way. On that day, I bid you remember this, that no matter how far your journey may take you, you stand where you stand by virtue of the road you walked to get there. For in times of hardship, where you fear you cannot go on, the joy you have known, the pain you have felt, the prayers you have whispered and answered, they shall ever be your strength and your comfort. This I hope, I believe, now and for all time, my truest friend. And since I have hope, and am not one to waste second chances, I have one final question. To my warrior of light, hero to me and countless others, the one to whose memory I look to in my darkest hours, the one whose shining example guided my every decision. Would you have me?